I want to learn to sail. Can I just buy a boat and sail where I want to?
Not quite as easy as that. You need some theory knowledge and the practical skills.
Wow, has the RYA got some courses to help me?
Well, yes they have.
The Royal Yachting Association is the voice of water sports in the United Kingdom. Their water sports courses are trained in several countries around the world. The instructor courses providing recognised qualifications for employment in the leisure industry. The original website was created for the Celt course. It was intended to support the students on an RYA Level 1 course. The site is no longer available online. This is a screenshot of my memory of the site. Although it was basic, devoid of any of today's advanced features, there was no embedded or imported training videos or links to them. The site was intended for adult learners who it was assumed had no knowledge of their peers and therefore provided no opportunity for collaboration. The website was selected as a suitable media for the purpose, as it provided the opportunity for students to access the theory prior to the course. Although students are not expected to have any knowledge, the author felt that a prior knowledge would support theorists as identified by Honey and Mumford. Unfortunately, the RYA Centre were reluctant to gather more personal data about their students, so there was no way to provide the students with the uniform resource locator of the website, so they could not access it. Noel's work was a significant factor in reorientating adult educators from educating people to helping them learn. Knowles, 1950, page 6. It is this view of education that led me to consider the website as a valuable resource to support the students in an area of a course I felt was missing. The students had to follow the prescribed route in the prescribed order, weather conditions permitting. I wanted to break that mould. I wanted to give the students the chance to learn in the order they wanted to. If they wanted theory first, so be it. The website would provide this choice, supporting learning, not prescribing. Vygotsky's theory of cognitive development is relevant to the RYA courses. The entire course relies on this experiential structure for successful development. The website is an integral strand of the course and therefore relevant. Vygotsky believed that all the higher functions originate as actual relationships between individuals. 1978, page 57. Place very young children in a group and a natural leader will appear and take control. Introduce a more formalized structure and the teacher will take control. Allow the teacher to withdraw slightly to act as support, and one of the children who learned the material more readily will come to the fore, providing the educator's role. This cycle will continue as individual students develop more strongly in different areas. Vygotsky called the teacher, and then the more capable student, more knowing others. This area in which this collaborative learning takes place is called a zone of proximal development. For the first half, and maybe more of the sailing course, the instructor is the main MKO. The ZPD is a sailing dinghy with up to 4 people in it. The latter part of the course, the original MKO steps out of the boat and maintains a remote but accessible role, with the students taking responsibility for learning, and therefore the MKO role moves away from the instructor and into the boat with one or more of the peers in role, depending on the task in hand. I have always been conscious of a diversity of learning styles, leaving some students struggling with this situated learning. In an effort to redress the balance, I tried to introduce the website as a balance for the theorist as identified by Honey and Mumford, giving them the opportunity to be the MKO where the theory became relevant during the practical sessions. I felt this consideration was important to enhance the status of the students who struggled. Mimetics, the theoretical and empirical science that studies the replication, spread, and evolution of mimes, which are a cognitive or behavioural pattern that can be transmitted from one individual to another. This concept of the evolution of knowledge falls very nicely into the use of the website to transmit the learning of sailing theory from one person to another. The willingness to accept knowledge from your peers via Web 2.0 is acknowledged. When considering a purchase, peer reviews will be read and valued, rather than consider the advertisements. Richard E. Mayer identified that for multimedia to be effective, it must be that, multimedia. He advocated the use of dual coding. Each resource should include both auditory and visual presentations. A slideshow of text will result in the student being pressured to read fast enough to keep up, and may therefore lose the meaning, or read very quickly and lose interest whilst waiting for the next slide. The same slideshow with an audio channel will provide the opportunity to decide on the medium you wish to use and reinforce either learning. An effective presentation must include images, text and sound to immerse a visitor in the presentation. As with PowerPoint, overdo the animations and detract from the learning. The method is the core of learning to sail the RYA way. A very clever use of the Kolb learning cycle, an incorporation of situated learning, practical to theory, and symbol processing, theory to practical. Excellent encompassing of Vygotsky, as the MKO moves out of the zone of proximal development, forcing the students to take the role as their strengths are needed. Its full impact is reliant on good weather. The largest failing, its light touch of theory work, hence the website. I believe the method was created with Kolb's learning cycle as the basis. I have always felt the method is limited in its benefit for those who need to start by understanding the abstract conceptualism. The convergers and the assimilators both require to think and consider before doing. The website was intended to provide this support, where the method does not, incorporating the thinking as short sessions during the 2 days. Sailing by its very nature is a practical activity, relying on automaticity for progression. There is an expectation of turn up and go. To a degree on a formal course that is the case, allowing for the situated learning. I felt that this expectation was disadvantaging a group of students. I was determined that symbol processing, the use of theory to work towards a practical outcome, should be an option. The website would provide this either at the start or during the course. Maslow identified that humans have several needs, starting from the basic survival needs, progressing to the wants. It is this esteem or self-actualization need the desire to learn to sail falls into. As a consequence of this driven desire, the students are motivated to achieve to reach a chosen pinnacle. This thirst for new skills is supported by the website, giving the students an opportunity to put themselves above their peers on the course prior to it starting. Bloom had a number of levels in his classification of learning objectives, progressing from basic to evaluation. The concept behind the website was that it would enable students to gather the knowledge, make efforts to comprehend it, and finally enable application in the practical arena. This would all be in support of the greater objective of the full course. Kirkpatrick believed that all training should be evaluated. He proposed a 4-stage process. Reaction, what did the student think about what they were doing? Learning, did they learn what they were expected to? Behaviour, were their actions improved by the learning? And finally, the benefits to the training provider. Logically, the website needed to consider evaluation, although only the first 2 levels, as the course should have been freestanding without the support of the website to reach all the evaluation targets. Unfortunately, the site fell short of its objectives. There were not enough hyperlinks to support learning. It only had single coding. We were unable to give the students access, and there was no evaluation. I still believe the concept is good, and the RYA should provide such a resource as a pre-read.
I've been biding my time, been so subtly kind. I've got to think so selfishly, 'cause you're the face inside of me. I've been biding my days, you see, evidently it pays. I've been a friend with unbiased views and then secretly left off to you. So now